Hello everyone, welcome to Pre-Calc. My name is Dave Ducharme, and in this video I'm going to go over a brief summary of the course description. First of all, in the title you probably notice FLCC Math 152. This course is offered as Gemini through FLCC, and if you notice here, the nice thing about it is you do not have to register until the spring. So please do not register for Pre-Calc in the fall. It's a spring offering, and we've got plenty of time to figure out if you want to register as Gemini or not. You're going to see two course descriptions. It's the same course. We have to put in the FLCC course description along with ours. But basically, this is a course, obviously pre-calculus, that you take as a prerequisite to calculus for those that want to go on and take calculus either at CA as a senior next year or as a freshman in college. But regardless, you have to successfully completed Algebra 2. Now, last year obviously ended on a very strange note. It's going to be a little bit challenging this year, and we're going to try and modify and adjust as best we can. But being a college level course, some of you might struggle a little bit because we didn't end as sound as we should have last year in Algebra 2. So this might be a little bit of an adjustment for us, especially given the conditions this year with only 2 days in class and 3 days remote. But anyway, we're going to do the best that we can. So I'm not going to read word for word the description there. I'll talk a little bit more about some other things you might be interested in. Student learning outcomes. Again, this is kind of a summary of what we are going to be doing in this course. Class policies. Again, just the common stuff that you see in pretty much every class. Cell phones, though, I just want to emphasize that again. Please, no use of cell phones in class. We have 40% of the in-class time that we normally would, so we've got to maximize that time. If you're on your phone, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, whatever, you're not paying attention to the lesson, and you are going to get behind. Same thing with headphones, earbuds. Even if you're not listening to music, I don't want to see them in your ear. It's very distracting for me and maybe students around you. So please, we've got to be focused this year on in-class learning. Okay, what a lot of you are probably interested in is how are you going to be graded this year? So here are the different categories for your quarterly average. If you notice, daily homework is not assigned a percentage. All right, and we'll talk about that in a second. But here are the percentages for your work sessions, your quizzes, your work packets, which are going to be new, and projects, which are going to be new. You haven't seen anything like those in algebra or geometry or algebra 2. And the test percentage for your unit tests. Notice here you also have calculator active and inactive exams. And actually the calculator inactive accounts for roughly 2/3 of the course. Your final grade is going to be 20% for each quarter, so that's a total of 80. We are going to have a midterm over the midterm week. It's going to be a 3-hour exam. That's going to be 10% of your final grade, and then your final exam is also going to be 10% of your final grade. Most of the material in the first semester that's covered on the midterm will not be tested again. All right, when we review in June for the final exam, it'll be a very solid review. You'll know exactly what you're expected to know for that final exam, but the majority of the first semester material will not be on the final exam. Homework. So homework's going to be assigned after each lesson. It should take you about 30 minutes to complete. The homework answer keys are going to be provided. They're going to be uploaded to our Schoology page. Probably most of you are familiar with that routine from last year in Algebra 2. But this is a biggie. Due to our unique situation this year, daily homework will not be collected. They're really trying to minimize the amount of paper that teachers collect. This is very similar to a college course in that you're expected to do the homework, you're expected to check it on your own, and you're expected to ask any questions the following day or a couple days later or via Zoom on things you don't understand. So it's not going to be collected, it's not going to be graded, but it's expected that you regularly complete it. So now work sessions. Work sessions will be very similar to what you had last year in Algebra 2. It's a problem set. Usually every 4 or 5 lessons, we give you a work session. Obviously, if we're in class 5 days a week, we kind of dedicate one day to a work session. We're not going to dedicate one of our 2 in-class days a week to a work session. So this is something you're going to be doing at home. But you're familiar with them. They're problem sets. You're going to have the answer key for these because you're not going to have the opportunity to ask questions as easily as in the past. These will go in as the traditional homework grade. So it's only going to be 10% of your quarter average. They are going to be graded mainly on effort, but occasionally what we'll do is we'll grade on accuracy. But like I said, you're going to have the answer keys for these also posted on Schoology. So between homework and work sessions, it's really up to you to check your understanding. And if you're missing questions, don't just, write in the correct answer or write it off. You've got to come in and ask questions. This course moves at a very rapid pace, and you've got to get your questions answered when you have them. Quizzes, traditional quizzes. Again, due to the unique circumstances this year, we don't want to take a lot of class time for assessments. So these quizzes will be calculator active or inactive, could be either one, and most quizzes are going to be take home this year. All right. So maybe if you're a cherry cohort, you come to school on Monday and Tuesday. On Monday, most likely I will pass out a quiz, and then that quiz is going to be due the next day in class. And there's going to be a significant late penalty if you do not do that, because these are graded on accuracy. And obviously, if you don't turn it on the Tuesday, then I don't see you for a whole nother week. So you've got to turn these in on time. If you're absent from school on that Tuesday that the quiz is due, we're going to have to work out a situation or some method where you get me that quiz virtually on that day. They're going to be graded on accuracy, and they're going to account for 15% of your quarter average. Work packets and projects. This is something completely new for all of you. A work packet is basically, it's like a large work session, and it's cumulative for the entire quarter. So usually you'll have 3 to 4 units on it, or 2 to 3, depending on the length of each unit, and they are graded on accuracy. They are not accepted late. This is a long-range assignment that you've probably never had before in a math class. You'll be given the work packet at the beginning of the quarter. So you all will be getting this the first week of school, and it's due at the end of the quarter. So 10 weeks. You have 10 weeks to complete it. It's not accepted late. It's graded on accuracy. Projects are similar, except it's not necessarily a work packet or a problem set. It's a little bit more abstract. For example, in our first quarter, we have a polynomial project which deals with a company's profit and loss. And we give you a function, a polynomial function, and you have to determine what dates the company is making profit, when it's losing money, when the profits are increasing, when they're decreasing, so on and so forth. So it's going to be a little bit different. It's a long-range assignment, but between the two of those account for 20% of your quarterly grade. And then we have tests. All tests for this year are going to be in person. So you are going to take a day for the exams. The district and FLCC are really pushing for in-class testing. So if you happen to be absent on the day of an exam, you'll be given a 0 until you make up the exam. So let's say if you're a cherry cohort, we have an exam on a Tuesday, you're not here. In Infinite Campus, you get a 0 until you can take that exam. Most likely the following week, Monday, you go to the testing center, take it. I grade it. There's no penalty, but it's not like you can just skip a test and have that not count against you in Infinite Campus. And those exams will account for 55% of your quarter average. Supplies, one thing that you'll notice in this course, a notebook and a folder or a 3-ring binder. We teach this more like a college course. So we don't give you note packets. We don't do notebook checks. You're on your own. You need to organize your material however you find most efficient, whether it's electronically, on your Chromebook, traditional notebook, binder, however you do it. You will not be getting note packets. We're not going to be doing lots of handouts this year because the district really wants to minimize the amount of paper passed out and collected. So it's going to be up to you how you organize. But basically, you need some way to organize notes, pencils, highlighters. You definitely need a graphing calculator. So if you do not have access to one, or if you lost yours, you need to see me and we can arrange for you to sign one out from the school. Textbook will be passed out first week of school, and graph paper is something that's always good to have. We're going to be doing lots and lots of graphs in pre-calc. Okay, extra help, super important that you get extra help when you need it. All right, you can't just say, well, I'll get it by the end of the unit. When you get stuck, you've got to go to clinic, you've got to come in, you've got to Zoom, whatever it takes for you to get your questions answered. Now, this is going to be a little bit different this year due to the circumstances. I don't think math clinic right here is going to be virtual. And it's going to be through Zoom. The exact details have not been worked out yet, but as soon as I get those details, I'll get them to you. And I'm available for help periods. I'm in third period clinic. But other than that, it's going to be office hours. And again, those haven't been established yet. Most likely it's going to be flexible. I'll probably send out a Brave Square message saying, hey, my office hours this week are going to be Monday, Tuesday, Friday from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, or Wednesdays from 9 o'clock to 11. Whatever they happen to be, it's probably going to be flexible rather than having set hours every day, every week. Attendance, critical this year with only being in class 2 out of 5 days. Really make every effort. If you're in cherry cohort, you've got to be in school Monday and Tuesday. Gray cohort, Thursday, Friday. Try and rearrange any sort of appointments you might have so they're on the days that you are remote. Cheating policy, again, it's going to be very hard for teachers to monitor this, so we're emphasizing good character. Please, if you have some sort of assessment at home and it's calculator inactive, don't use a calculator. Don't communicate with other students. Don't give information out about any sort of take-home quiz or work session. Obviously, there's heavy penalties if you get caught. Academic honesty, tiered assignment, most likely, almost everything this year, social distancing is going to be tier A. I know down here, classwork tier B, work sessions tier B, we're really not going to be able to do that, at least for the first semester, given the 6 feet of social distancing. It's most likely going to be tier A. And finally, Schoology and Brave Square. Most of you guys are very familiar with the use of Schoology and how math teachers organize their courses. I'll be creating a separate video kind of walking through what you can find on my particular Schoology page. And all my messaging communication will be through Brave Square. Parents, if you prefer email, just email me. That's totally fine. If the Brave Square app is easier, that's fine also. I'm very flexible. But all of my communications, initial communications, will be through Brave Square. Finally, here are the topics that we are going to cover this year. Relations and functions, equations and inequalities, higher degree polynomials, linear programming. I'm going to write optional here. This unit is going to be pushed to the end of the year. We probably won't have time to cover every single item that we normally cover. So this is going to be pushed to the end of the year. Matrices, conic sections, sequences and series. At this point, it'll be hopefully the end of the first semester and not later, and we'll have our midterm on those topics up above. Exponents and logs, basic trig, analytic trig, vectors, that's going to be completely new, limits, completely new, and introduction to calculus. We cover the first unit of calculus in pre-calc, and the reason we do that is our AP courses start a little bit later than the rest of the country. So the students have about a 2 to 3 week disadvantage. So we try and cover a lot of this so the calc teachers next year can jump right into it and our students are not at a competitive disadvantage. Final exam on all the topics covered, we discussed, as well as all Gemini content, which will include functions, sequences, and series, not a lot more than what's in the second semester. And finally, for those of you that go on to take this course as Gemini, here's the letter grade conversion. You see in the middle, that would be the numeric grade you have at CA, your final grade, and the letter that it would represent for your grade at FLCC. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or concerns whatsoever. And I hope you guys are looking forward to the school year. I know I really am. It seems like it's been forever since we've been in a normal school setting. And I know it's not going to be normal, but it'll be much better than what it was at the end of last spring. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you soon.